So Ferris was accidentally just refunded $18 million, and this is what I had to ask of our president, David Eisler.
Can we spend a little bit of it completely senselessly and bring Beyonce to Ferris Fest?
Well, I've heard lots of
I'm sure
lots of suggestions, and that frankly I hadn't heard that one yet.
Yes, I have the answer to that and so much more on today's TORCHCAST. Hey, what's up, Ferris friends? This is Devin Anderson. I am your host for the TORCHCAST, and yes, that was some new theme music. I have to address that. That's from my friend Jack at Full Sail University. Hello, Jack. I thought we needed some new theme music, and what better way to introduce that theme music than to have David Eisler, our university president, on the podcast today. He is a very cool dude. I wasn't really sure what to expect when I went to interview him. I went up to his office. It's in the Timmy building on the 3rd floor. And my goodness, is it nice. It is probably the nicest thing on this campus. Lots of very cool carpet and wood cabinetry. And he has a wonderful view of Taggart Field and the rest of campus. And he was so warm and kind with me. So I really appreciate that. I get the sense that he really does care about us as students, though many of us don't really know much about him. So this was a great opportunity for me to maybe get some stuff out there about him that you didn't know, including how he met his wife, which is an awkward conversation, which you will hear. I also have a conversation coming up with Austin Vela, Danielle Roggenbuck, and Kacie Krogman. They are all members of Greek organizations at Ferris State University, and we're going to talk, just chat a little bit, and then talk about some of the controversy that surrounds their alcohol policies recently. Yes, it should be fun. So I want to get to these interviews. I'm not even going to read the news this week. You can pick up the torch and read it yourself, because I know you know how to read. I know you do. Yeah, long interviews, so let's just get right to it. Here is President David Eisler.
I think students see you around campus and they maybe see you playing with the band at a sporting event, but I don't know how well they actually know you. So where did you grow up?
Well, I'm from New Jersey. I went to college in Michigan as an undergraduate, and I met my wife while I was in college at Michigan, and she was dating my roommate. So one of the things I share with students is you never know when roommates might be effective for things that you really didn't plan. And so our career I'm a musician by background. I have degrees in clarinet performance. And
what attracted you to U of M for that?
They offered me a very modest scholarship, and no one in our family had ever been to college, and so we went to visit the University of Michigan. We showed up on a Saturday. We didn't know there was such a thing as an admissions office, and a person who was conducting a rehearsal at that time stopped and showed my family around the school, and my mother said, you ought to consider this school. They care about students there, and they had a wonderful music program. And so we left Michigan. I did my master's degree at Yale, and then our career has been 15 years at Troy State University in Alabama. We finished our doctorate back at Michigan when we were there, and then 6 years at Eastern New Mexico University, where I was a Dean of Fine Arts, and then 7 years at Weber State University in Ogden, Utah, where I was a provost, and then this is our 13th year at Ferris. And we really look at Big Rapids as home. We love Big Rapids. I think Ferris really resonates with us. I think the mission of Ferris and the way that Ferris provides opportunity for students is something that we feel a lot of interest in.
What's some of your favorite music?
Well, I have eclectic tastes. I love playing with the pep band. I've been in the pep band. This is my 13th year in the pep band, so I've watched lots of great students there. I'm classically trained, but I also like some sorts of jazz. I have all sorts of tastes. I think you kind of listen to things that you like to listen to, and I subscribe to Rhapsody. I'm a Spotify person, so we listen to a lot of music online when I'm working. A lot of instrumental music, because sometimes the words distract you when you're working. But
sure, I can relate to that. Any modern music that you hear and maybe...
Well, I certainly hear some of this from my daughters, and I learned some about contemporary music from playing with the band, and they'll play something, and I'll learn something about this artist or that artist, and I have lots of tastes.
Okay, so what do you do in your free time? Is there music involved, or are you relaxing?
Well, there's a lot of effort with this position that continues into the evenings and the weekends. A lot of events that I attend. I've been a very active runner, and but I've just come off a knee injury, so I'm going to have to run less. So I think I'm probably going to become a bicyclist. But we're involved in lots of activities, lots of charitable things here in Big Rapids and Grand Rapids. Do like to travel some with my wife, and we love to visit our daughters.
Okay, what's the favorite place that you've traveled to?
We like to go to Hawaii.
Hawaii, okay.
We like to go there, and it's a good time to relax and get away and recharge. And we try to go there in the summers when we can.
All right. So the university just received a surprise refund. What was your base reaction when you found out?
Well, it is true that I came back from vacation. I was in Hawaii. I came back, and they said, "You aren't going to believe it happened while you were gone." And I said, "Well, maybe I should leave some more, and we can find some more of this." But we've been testifying. I've been testifying in the States since I began in 2003 that I didn't believe we were being charged the right amount for MEPSers. That I thought that the rate that it was growing was more than what I thought our costs were. But it's such a big thing, and you're working with actuaries, and they don't really share that data with you. But
explain this to the layman, like what MIPSers is generally, and what
this is the Michigan Public School Employees Retirement System, and this is a piece that Ferris was placed in back in the 60s. It wasn't something we voluntarily did. It's what all public school employees are in this retirement system. There are only 7 public universities that are in it, and they expanded the pension part of it to include retiree health benefits, which are quite expensive. And so in 1996, there was something that happened in Michigan where the public universities were taken out of this system. So anyone who's come to Ferris since 1996 isn't in this retirement system. But we have many employees who joined us before 1996, and we have retirees in the system. So what we have to pay is a certain amount for the retirement and also for the liabilities in the pension system that aren't particularly covered. And so when we were taken out of this system in terms of new employees in 1996, an error was made in terms of how we paid funds into this particular system. And so there's a new federal accounting standard this year. It's called GASB 68, I think, and that requires us to take the pension liability and place it on our balance sheet. And so when the people associated with this were figuring what that liability was, they discovered that an error had been made, and that part of what we were contributing hadn't been correctly attributed to the university. And so they went back and looked at these these amounts we placed in this fund, plus the accrued interest on that, and it was the amount that we received a check for at the end of September was $17.3 million, and that was what the accumulation was through the end of 2014. There's another amount that will come to us for what we contributed this last year, 14 to 15, and our estimate is that amount will be approximately $1.3 million. So that would increase that amount to $18.6 million.
Wow.
And you look at that much money, and you have to remember that it's just a one-time thing. This isn't a base dollar that we can fund, base dollar amount that we can fund things on over time, but it's just this one-time windfall. And when you think about what universities are about students. And that's really what our focus is. It's on students and their education. And I've talked a lot about student debt and about trying to reduce student debt for students at Ferris. And we know we have lots of deserving students at Ferris. So, you think about what you can do with something like this. And what I've proposed is that we take this amount and that we have our trustees transfer this amount to the Ferris Foundation. And that we set it up first as a quasi-endowment and then as an endowment. If you think about taking this amount, investing it, and then taking the returns every year and using it for student scholarships, a year from now, this could produce $720,000 for student scholarships, and that amount will continue forever. And you begin to think about that. That could help 360 students with a $2,000 scholarship, and it just seems to me that to take these funds and to place them in a way that we can help our students both now and in the future makes some sense. So that's what I propose. The trustees still have to take action on it, but I'm hopeful they will. So
okay.
It just feels to me like you have this opportunity and say, is there a way we can do something with this opportunity that makes not just a short-term difference, because we have lots of needs. We could put this into lots of things, but if you think about doing it long-term, 50 years from now, this will still be helping students. And that feels to me like a kind of long-term view about how to make a difference.
Sure, that sounds sensible. I've heard lots of ideas from different students, some of them less realistic than others. My thoughts are, can we spend a little bit of it completely senselessly and bring Beyonce to Ferris Fest?
Well, I've heard lots of
I'm sure you've heard plenty of
suggestions, and frankly, I hadn't heard that one yet. And I think the challenge with this is if you go out there, there are lots of needs out there. There are lots of needs out there. Our students have lots of needs. There are many things we could do for academic programs, for equipment, for facilities, for buildings, but I think once you start with one need, it's hard to find a place where those needs stop. And I think once these funds are spent, I don't think there's another $18 million piece out there for us. And when I started at Ferris, our foundation was $18 million. And the opportunity to have this, place it all towards student scholarships, and then grow that amount, because that'll grow with the earnings over time. I think that we'll have a very engaged discussion with our trustees about that, but I really believe that makes a difference.
All right. Do you have a favorite movie?
Oh, there are lots of movies that I like. I'm not a person who really works in terms of favorites, and candidly, I don't get to the movies as often as I once did. But there's a whole string of movies that I've really enjoyed over the years. There was a somewhat obscure movie called The Wind and the Lion. That was just a fabulous movie. It had this amazing musical soundtrack that was by Jerry Goldsmith that I liked quite a bit. I love movies that deal with teachers and about education. I think those movies are always kind of fun to look at. And there was an obscure movie named Dave a few years ago that I really enjoyed, where this person was like had a resemblance to the President of the United States and stepped into that role, and that was an interesting movie. It's a kind of interesting leadership structure. But we do try to get to movies when we can, not as often as we used to because of our schedule.
Now you look well. You look very well. Last year you were in the hospital briefly, and I know we were all very worried. We missed pancakes with the president. How are you feeling now?
Oh, I had a complete recovery. The reality was that I had just run about a week or two before the Philadelphia Marathon, and I had a reaction to NSAID, something like Advil, and I had an adverse reaction with my kidneys, and it was a complete surprise. I thought maybe I had a head cold, but I was fortunate to get wonderful medical care. I had a complete, total recovery with no long-term damage to my kidneys. So you're talking to probably the most fortunate person in terms of their health. But no, I'm completely healed, and it took some time because recovering from that was longer than I expected to. But no, my health is wonderful. But thank you for asking, the students did a wonderful video for me, and I have these immense cards that you all signed, which were really meaningful as I was recovering. So thank you for asking about that.
Good. My last question is, will you take a selfie with me?
Of course. Of course.
Okay, well, before we do that, thank you, President Eisler, for being on the TORCHCAST.
Happy to be a part of it. I think it's a wonderful idea that you do this. Thank you for having me today.
Great, thanks.
See, I told you he was cool. He is very thorough with his answers, but he is awesome. And if you want to see that selfie, go to fsutorch.com and find this TORCHCAST, and below the video will be my glorious selfie with our university president. I think I was as excited as I might be if I got a selfie with the real president. So there, yeah. Now, here's a conversation with some lovely Greek folks. Okay, it's a Greek party in the Torch office. How's it going, everybody?
Fantastic.
Ooh, awesome. Okay, so I want to introduce you specifically just so we can get the sense of your voices. I'm going to start with Austin Vela. He's a member of Phi Sigma Kappa. Austin, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Coffee.
Just
coffee.
Just coffee.
That's it.
Mainlining coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And how did that work out for you?
Pretty well.
Okay.
As good as it could get.
All right. Now next we have Kacie Krogman from Alpha Psi Delta. And Kacie, what did you have for lunch?
I had a Hot Pocket.
What kind of Hot Pocket did you have?
Like the normal pepperoni.
Solid. Yeah, totally. Did you microwave it before you ate it? Oh, good. Have you ever had one frozen?
No.
Oh, okay, that's good. We can assume that it's probably not very good.
No.
All right, and Danielle Roggenbuck, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Also from Alpha Psi Delta. Have you had dinner yet?
Oh God, no, I haven't.
No?
Right here.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're not too hungry to talk about life.
No, running on coffee. We'll be good.
Okay, so what was the last event that we went to? Ferris event.
Ferris event.
Did anyone go to live sex therapy?
Yeah, I went to live sex
Yeah,
therapy.
I
Group sex
did
therapy.
actually.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I honestly, when I first saw the caption and everything of it, this last 5-star, I enjoy 5 stars personally. I think they're really entertaining, and I was just like really thrown off. I'm like, that's just like the weirdest like thing. The counseling part like got me. I'm like, are we gonna be in a circle like kumbaya, like talking about sex, like weirded out? I ended up going with a couple sisters, and it was really interesting. It was just like this whole like it encompassed everything of like love and like relationships and why like our like generation in general is really kind of like skewed with dating, and it was really like mind blowing. Honestly, I enjoyed it.
Cool. And now you said you went with sisters, and Austin, I was actually over in the guys section and saw you with I think some of your brothers.
Yep, we went as a group.
So do you do a lot of bonding like that? Are those some of your best friends here? Are your brothers and sisters in your Greeks?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I personally live with all sisters. I did last year besides one girl, and she was basically one of the sisters. I mean, she hung out with us all the time. But yeah, now this year, next year is going to be the same type of setup. So, I mean, yeah, they're some of my closest friends, and I consider them sisters, but it's like they really are like friends at the core,
Okay. Now, is there drama between Greeks, or are you pretty tight? Like, as Greek life as a whole, are different fraternities and sororities pretty cool with each other?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I've been around for at least 4 years, and over time I've definitely seen it grown and unified, and I'd say we are definitely a tight-knit community.
Yeah, I think we do a lot to support each other's events, especially philanthropy events. I became Greek 3 or 4 years ago, and I've seen a huge improvement on that, and especially just like the support has really improved. So yeah.
Awesome. So you're collaborating more and more supportive of each other?
Yep, like for example, say like Alpha Psi Delta has a fundraiser, us Phi Sigs will go out and like donate to the fundraiser or help them out. And that goes for like other organizations as well on campus.
I feel like there's just more to do because you have like 30 or 40 brothers or sisters, so they're always doing something and inviting you to come do something, so there's always something to do, and that's really nice.
That's cool. But does it keep you busier too, or are there more things to keep up with?
I think it does definitely keep you busier, but I think that's actually a really good thing because it's taught me how to prioritize my time and how to like stay social, and when I'm not busy, I feel like I should be doing something, so I feel like it motivates me to do more.
Okay. Now, this is a very serious question. Who has the best, like, merch of all the frats? You've all got something on from your fraternity or sorority right now.
Man.
They all look pretty cool. Who's got the coolest letters, colors, logos?
Shoot.
This head has the most history to it.
Really?
I don't know if it's the coolest, but it's old. Yeah.
I mean, we've got, I don't know, I've always liked our Z. Looks kind
our
of fun.
Z is cool. No one ever knows what it is.
Oh, yeah. I could never tell what that is. It looks like some Chinese calligraphy for anyone who can't see it.
Right.
I mean, and every organization has their own, like, rare, like, shirts or merchandise. Like, I have a Phi Sigma Kappa clock.
Oh, okay.
Like, bistro clock. Like,
Random
I just, like,
stuff.
you'll find some, like, a really obscure items. You'll find, like, items from, like, back from, like, the 80s
Like,
and the
our
70s
mascot
that people
is
have.
Betsy Bear, so we have, like, all these weird teddy bear things.
Wow, okay. Well, I'm here to tell you, actually today my fraternity, Alpha Psi Omega, just ordered our merch with theater masks behind the letters, so sorry guys. Sorry.
Right. I was saying, you take the cake for that one.
Yeah.
Acting.
Not
Not going to compete with that.
Yeah. So what else do we want to talk about? How about this Starbucks thing?
Oh,
my
okay.
Are we some Starbucks fans here? Was anyone
I'm
just
a
terribly
Big
offended?
fan, personally, so I don't even get into it.
I like them both, but...
I mean, I go to Starbucks based on convenience, like on campus. In regards to the cup,
What's going on with that?
do you know? Do you have?
So I guess it still looks pretty festive to the holidays to me, but like apparently it used to have Christmas trees and now it doesn't. So they're being more inclusive of everyone's holiday. The war on Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why don't they just switch it up year to year? Have one of the, something with cool.
Yeah. Have like a menorah one
Yeah,
year.
menorah. Throw
But
that
then
on
again,
there.
I don't think they necessarily needed to have anything on it because, like a Christmas, well, depending on what color the Christmas tree was, because their logo was green, like green and red.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's a damn cup.
So can we chalk that up to Slow News Day?
Basically.
Basically.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
What's on the Starbucks cup today?
I don't understand how that turned into huge controversy. I know Donald Trump said something about boycotting.
Oh,
it, I believe.
jeez.
But there's just like way bigger things going on in this world too. So, like,
How about
it's
movies?
a ridiculous issue.
Are any of you looking forward to any movies coming out?
Oh God, I don't like movies.
You don't like
No,
movies?
I like movies.
They take too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Wars 7.
Yes, yes.
Force Awakens.
I basically asked that question
That
because
is
I
the
just wanted to
best
talk
Christmas
about Star
gift
Wars.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone could ever get.
So to the listeners, Austin and I are going to start our own Star Wars podcast, and you can listen to that separately. We don't have to bother you with the details.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell me what's new with Greek life.
What is new with Greek life?
Austin, tell me, you've got a number of Greek life positions, so tell me about that before you jump into that.
I'm currently the administrative vice president for the Interfraternity Council. I just oversee social events and the Greek life policy. Then I'm also the Greek life assistant under Matt Jones in the CLAC's office.
So are you like the enforcer?
I would not say I'm the enforcer.
But you could be.
I could be, but I implement and inform Greek members. That's my main goal.
Okay, cool. So tell me about, there was some stuff, there was some controversy, I guess you could say, in the Torch last week about Greek alcohol policy, and I know you're responsible for implementing some of that. Have there been issues so far with the new policy? Has everyone been pretty cool about stuff?
People are just still trying to learn it. I mean, it's a new policy, so people are trying to adapt to the changes. I mean, it just needs some time.
Everyone's behaving so far, though?
Yeah, people are respectful about their disagreements with it. But, I mean, we can only just move forward from here.
Okay, cool. Now, my understanding is it was sort of a surprise, these new rules. Were some people caught off guard?
I believe some people were and some people weren't. The policy was changed over the summer, so of course not a lot of people are up at school during this time. Not a lot of people are up to date on Facebook when it comes to Ferris State Greek page, because it was posted on there. But I mean, it's the summer; most people are back home, so not really paying attention to what goes on at school. That's a good explanation as to why people were surprised.
Danielle and Kacie, I know you can't have sorority houses, but how has this affected you? Do you notice any big changes in your weekend outings?
It basically just changes how we run mixers.
Okay.
And honestly, it's really not a huge change.
It's just brought more structure, I think, to it. These have always been in place. They're just now being enforced more so than they have been in the past. And honestly, it's Greeks in general, because we have our weekly meetings and we have different events that we run, we're used to the structure in general. So it's just like, this is just another structure type of a thing that is kind of being put in place. So we're all, I think, adapting. I think we'll eventually adapt well, and like any type of change, we'll have to tweak it probably, but we'll work with it.
Hey, we made it. All right. So once again, please pick up the torch this week. There's lots of good stuff in it that I wasn't able to get to because of all my cool guests. Oh yeah, we also had an awesome time in Austin 2 weeks ago. Some Torch staff members went to Texas, and we had a blast. We hung out during Halloween and went to a very cool convention. We're all so enlightened and informed now. It's very cool. Yeah, but pick up the Torch this week. There's cool stories in there. Student employers are getting a pay raise soon. There was an insane drunk car chase between the cops and a Ferris student that we detail. There's also some of Ferris's top-rated professors in this paper, so it's a good one. Make sure you check it out. And this has been the TORCHCAST. Visit us at fsutorch.com, and we'll see you later.